up, you guys? It's Chrissy, and I'm here with Bruce, aka Mr. Old Soul. How are you, Bruce?
I am doing wonderful. You dig?
Okay, so I want to talk about the recent event you had. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yes. So the recent event was Soul Sessions. It was R&B. Well, excuse me. That particular one was Soul Sessions, grown and sexy,
Okay.
and everything. It was a spoken word and R&B open mic night that we had,
Okay.
and really, honestly, at first it was supposed to be on Valentine's Day,
Okay.
but I was competing with way too many people
Right.
at that time. Plus, it was Valentine's Day, so I figured it'd be best for me to just do it later. And then I did it later, and it turned out much better than I expected it to turn out.
Yeah.
For my first time hosting anything, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but I'm glad for the way it turned out. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
So what is Soul Sessions for those who don't know?
So Soul Sessions is a R&B and spoken word poetry open mic thing that I do. It's a event that I've just put together for the brand Mr. Old Soul.
Okay. So what can people expect from that event? Like what on your last one, what were the acts like?
So the acts were, it was me, it was Miss Charlie Rose, it's my good friend of mine, his name is Maui Sachs, and Nadia Quarles and her band. So Maui played his saxophone. He does a lot of jazz music and stuff like that, and covers with his sax. Nadia and her band, they do a neo soul R&B ish type of thing. Which, if you have never heard her music, I would definitely try to listen to it because it's chef's kiss. Me and Charlie did spoken word poetry, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was terrified. I was
Oh.
terrified. I was terrified. I was up here shaking. I was worried about how I was going to do everything, how I was going to
Mm-hmm.
present it. It was my first time actually performing for one. It was Charlie's first time performing. She did amazing. She did amazing. Me, myself, personally, my own critique of myself, I could have done better. But for what I did do, I got a good reaction. I got the reaction I was looking for. That's what mattered to me. Um, I created the event really to bring people together and everything. My biggest thing is bringing people together, especially people who have art and just don't know where to find their voice at and they want to put their voice out. I want to help you get your voice out into the world because that's what I'm doing with me. I'm getting my voice out into the world. And I would like to help others who are like me and just very shy, very nervous and everything, anxiety feels when it comes to performing in front of people. But I want to bring people together. And then on top of that, you can network with other people and then y'all can do something even more with that. And that's my biggest goal is to help people meet other people and then they connect and then they grow into something. That's what my goal is with everything that I do. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So, with I know you're an old soul, you're a lover at heart, you're a big
Mm.
teddy bear. What do you think has changed in love and relationships this day and age? Or do you think it's been the same?
People do not know how to be vulnerable anymore.
Mm.
And they don't know how to be vulnerable. Men do not know how to be vulnerable to their women. And they're so refusing to be vulnerable to their women because vulnerability has been promoted as weakness with everybody,
Come
not
on.
just in the male spectrum, but in the female spectrum as well. I can be vulnerable with a woman and she thinks I'm too nice, too sweet, and she doesn't want to talk to me because she thinks I'm not masculine enough. I might be too
Mm-hmm.
feminine because I'm vulnerable to her or anything like that. That's not the case at all. And everything. People don't like being vulnerable to other people, but they don't like to be vulnerable. They don't like to be emotionally available and everything. And then, the root of all evil is money. People are so concerned about money, and you're more concerned about what can you do for me over how can you treat me?
Right.
And I see that way too much nowadays. People are more concerned about what can you do for me than over how can you treat me
Wow.
and everything. Then, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I understand being a partner with somebody. I mean, things are going to get tough. You need a financial spectrum with that. And you also need a lover spectrum. But if you're so focused on the whole financial aspect of it, there's no love. There's
I gotta agree with that.
truly no love.
Yeah.
There's truly no love. We have lost the whole concept of love. We've lost it. We, as a species, have lost the concept of love. I'm going to keep it with myself.
Right.
But, if I can love you till I'm blue in the face, if I can't bring no money to you, you're not going to see that. You're not worried about that. And that's the saddest part about it. And, that comes from a lot of hurt and past traumas and everything like that, and people not taking the proper time to heal or anything like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but I get it.
No, I think you made some valuable points about vulnerability. One, the financial aspect. Like, yeah, those are all components. But I would say people don't focus on like the root of the relationship. Like, I'm not going to get into a relationship with someone if I can't even be your friend 1st. Like, I think like you said, you're looking, a lot of people are looking for like what they can get out of it, what, like, transactional. I really feel like a relationship, a soul connection, like, type of relationship should be transformational, not transactional. Because a lot of the times, like you said, I'm looking for this man to take care of me, or I'm just looking for her for sexual whatever. And they're not, it's not a friendship, it's not a relationship, it's not, I genuinely like this person, I like the way he treats other people, I like the way he carries himself, I like how he loves me, I like his vulnerability, I like how he laughs, his sense of humor, right? It's more like, let's build a friendship before we build anything else. Right? And then that's where the romance comes in. It's transformational. That's what I say. Not transactional, like you getting this from me, I'm getting that from you. That's a transaction. Love should be transformational.
And it's sad because, well, I'm not going to say it's sad. I had to learn that. I had to learn that the hard way, sadly.
Yeah.
I had to learn that because when I was younger, I didn't get the whole aspect of like us being friends first and everything like that. And I didn't get it because people didn't use that, say, let's be friends first and everything. They didn't use that because they just wanted to actually get to know me and build something with me. They used that because they saw how nice I was or something, and they weren't interested in me. So instead of actually saying it, let's be
They try to
friends to
friend
build
zone
some,
you.
they did that to really just say I'm in the
Oh.
friend zone and everything. And how I ended up finding out is that they come and talk to me about another dude that they're interested in.
Yeah.
And I didn't, me being who I am, I'm not rude or anything like that. I'm gonna sit there and listen
Right.
and everything while my heart is breaking and I'm crying on the inside.
Oh.
I'm crying on the
Poor
inside, but it's
babe.
okay. It's okay.
Right. I was like,
But it's okay. Like, it's all right. But now that I'm older and I've been through some things, now I see the importance of building an actual friendship with somebody or a relationship, regardless, with somebody. I One thing I don't recommend is building a relationship based off sex.
right.
I can't recommend that.
Oh my gosh, you said it again.
I do not recommend building a relationship based off sex.
And I
I've
feel
done
like
it.
that's all
I've
we
only done that
do.
literally one time, and it was bad. Like, it was bad because I didn't know her. She didn't fully know me. Like, we learned certain things about each other, but you didn't fully know the person I was. I didn't fully know the type of person you were, and I started to see a bunch of red flags that I didn't like. And I'm sure you had your own flaws that with me that she didn't like. But then it got to a point where it's just like this was overwhelming for me. And I don't know, and then after a while the sex stopped, and then the distance really, and the distance in like the likeness for each other just really just got huge.
The gap just kept
It
going.
just kept going, and it's just like it was like a bottomless pit, and I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off now. And I ended up hurting her feelings. And it hurt my feelings because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. But I had to be honest with her about it. And I felt like we would both be better off with that, with me being honest about it and everything. Once I did that, yes, we were better off. Like emotionally, I'm much better. I feel much better. But like I said, I will never build a relationship based off sex again. Yeah. I want to get to know somebody first. I want them to know the ins and out of me and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. Sex is good. Sex is going to always be great. But I need you to know me.
Right.
I need you to know me. If I'm having a bad day, I need you to be able to say, hey, I see something's wrong. What's going on? Even if I'm telling you nothing's wrong, just like understand. If I tell you nothing's wrong, I don't want to talk about it right now. Just kind of need you to sit here and just be here for me.
Right.
Or anything like that. I don't want to just talk about it right now, and I'll talk about it when I'm ready instead of like you constantly drilling me and trying to get something out of me, because then it's going to piss me off, and then we're going to have a much bigger problem on our hands, and it didn't even need to be that or anything. But you wouldn't know that about me if you don't actually know me.
Right.
And get to talk to me, see how I am when I'm upset, see how I am when I'm not upset or anything, see how loving I am, see how I am when I'm down about something or anything. Like we have to get to know each other really, and I'm learning that more and more and more and everything. I'm learning more things about myself and learning how to actually properly love myself and treat myself. Because I'm so used to loving and treating others that I neglected myself. And now that I'm older, I'm starting to do that for myself. And it's doing much better for me.
Yeah.
It's doing much better for me.
Wow. I love that. So would you say that's a lot of the inspiration about like your spoken word that you do? Can we talk a little bit about that?
So I'm going to be completely honest. I am a love junkie. I am a love junkie. I've always been that way, even since I was a kid.
The lovers.
I've always been a love junkie since I was a child.
The lover boys.
And everything. The hopeless romantic. I wanted that hopeless romantic movie love that we always saw on the screen that had me in my room crying, boo-hooing, and everything, because I wouldn't watch it in front of anybody else because they were going to talk about me and everything like that. So, yes, I have always been the romantic type. But a lot of my spoken word comes from that. It comes from the romance that I seek. But it also comes off as very intimate. And I call it erotic. Some people probably won't see it as erotic because I know there's much more erotic poetry out than what I do. But it's love, intimacy, comedy, dark humor sometimes, grievances. It's a lot. But my main thing is I want to express how I feel about a certain thing. I can express how I feel. I have one called Brown Skin, and I literally take you through my loving for a brown skinned woman. And I take it in such a way, I use a lot of metaphors just to bring it out and just really understand. Like, honestly, if you're paying attention, you're going to get it. If you're not paying attention, you're going to get it. Here's something I need to say to everybody. If you're a dude and you hear my poetry and you support me, I love you for that. Because let me tell you something. No. Let me tell you. It's definitely for the women. It is most definitely for the women. But let me tell you how much I got talked about.
Oh, gosh. By the guys?
Oh, my God. I got talked about so much and just roasted. And I'm just like, see, this is all I don't tell y'all.
It might just go over their head.
It be your own people. It be your own people that just do it like that. And everything. They support me whenever I perform it or something like that. But, me trying to just like read it out loud to them, they just be like, this nigga. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, can we not?
Can we not get on our field?
But to be fair, they've known me for the longest time. Right. So
They know what to expect.
Yeah, they're
Come
used
on.
to me talking like that
Yeah.
and just like really going into like that. But everybody else doesn't really know me. And like you talk to me and just think one thing about me,
Yeah.
but then see another thing about me once you get to know me. And I love that. So, like I said, it's for the women, it's for men, it's for lovers in general. People who love the thought of love, because that's what I am. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I do fight for love, but I'm not going to fight for dumb love.
For that part.
We're not going to fight for dumb love.
It got to be worth it.
Dumb love or fake love.
Now, when you say fight, you're not talking about like fighting other men, but you're like, you have to be able to, like, say you're in a relationship with someone and you know the outcome could be so beautiful, but you kind of have to fight for it. You got to get through the rough patches. Is that what you mean, like fighting for love?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Okay.
I mean, do not get me wrong. If I have to shove my arm up somebody's anal cavity and make them talk like a puppet, we will do that.
Okay.
If that happens. But I mean,
All
that's if you
right.
disrespect my wife. It's fair warning. I'm not married yet, but fair warning.
Don't play on his
Don't play
future
with
wife.
me.
Okay.
Don't play with me. But yes, I've had to do that way too much. And you know, I think that's why I'm single now. In a certain sense, I think that's why I'm choosing to be single.
Why do you feel like you're choosing to be single right
I
now?
feel like I'm choosing to be single because I am burned out. I sat here and fought hard. I fought tooth and nail hard for somebody who just did not deserve it.
Yeah.
And I knew it.
Right. You kind of felt it in your spirit.
I knew it. I knew they didn't deserve it. I knew they didn't deserve everything that I was trying to do and everything. A woman who was actually for me would have appreciated everything I did for that person, but I did it for that person. And now it's like I need to sit down for a minute and just let myself recharge because like I want to do this for somebody else, but I refuse to let somebody start playing with me.
Right.
And at this point, if I see a red flag, I'm not that critical to where if I see one red flag, I'm instantly going to cut you off or anything like that. I'm going to mention it. We're going to mention it because that's one thing I didn't do. I wasn't verbal enough. I was verbal. I'll take that back. I was verbal. It was just falling on deaf ears. So I'm going to mention what the problem is I'm seeing and what I don't like.
Okay.
And if it fixes itself or if it doesn't fix it, gets fixed, I know what it is. And everything. Somebody who actually wants to actually have something with you will learn to fix something. If somebody came to me and told me that they had a problem with me doing this or doing that, anything. If I actually want to be with you, I'm going to sit there and change that. If I'm not really that interested, I'm not going to sit there and change that. And that's what everybody.
Right.
That's what everybody, because I'm not really that interested in you anyways. So I don't see this going any further. I mean, we could be friends. And if you don't want to be friends because of that, then I mean, so be it.
Right.
But I'm going to always sit here and try and make things much better for the time being, you know?
Right.
I'm going to always try to make them better. And this is how we're going to go through this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this together. We're going to pray about it. We're going to get on our knees, pray about it, and we're going to work this out and everything. If I love you, I'm not going to sit here and let you go that easily. I refuse to let somebody who I truly want to be with go that easily.
Right.
I fight for love. And that's a lot of men don't do that.
They don't.
And they don't do that simply because, you know, society has done that to them. And sadly, women have done that to them too because that's...
Really?
Women have done that to them, and hear me out on this.
Okay.
I'm not even saying that in a bad way and everything because while women has done that to them, society did that to women as well. They painted this picture of what a man is supposed to be like. A man is supposed to be tough, upstanding, stand firm on his words, and everything, the protector, the provider, or anything like that. If a brother comes to you and he's crying or something like that, you don't care why he's crying.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you crying for? You're supposed to be a man. Men don't cry. Men don't feel these emotions. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. And everything. Society has built men to do nothing but that.
Right.
Men have built other men to do nothing but that. And then, in turn, it's taught women to that's what a man is supposed to be. Then you get relationships where they're with the man that's really masculine or really something like that, but he's not. He's emotionally unavailable for this person. And then this person feels alone in their relationship and everything. But then you get same woman who wants that with a person who's emotionally available and wants to be vulnerable with this woman and everything she doesn't like because he's being too nice. He's being, in their mind, weak or a pushover or easily walked over. That's how they view us and everything. I've been viewed like that. And it wasn't even, I didn't even get told that by somebody I was interested in. I got told that by a friend. Somebody I actually had an interest in at one point in time. Sorry, I take that back. It was somebody I had an interest in at one point in time, but it just turned into a friendship. And she kept saying, "You just too nice. I'd hurt your feelings." Then what makes you felt like I was weak? Did you feel like I was weak? I felt more disrespected by the fact that you felt like I was weak because I was nice, because I knew how to talk to you properly, how I knew how to treat you properly, and you're not used to that. So you saw it as weak. That's what I was mostly offended by. I wasn't offended by the fact that you just weren't interested. I mean, hell, how many times, if I had a nickel for every time somebody was uninterested in me, do you know I'd be a rich man right now?
No, dang.
But it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Life keeps moving.
Life keeps going.
Keeps
I roll
going,
with the punches. I've always rolled with the punches. So I'm big bodied like Chevy.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I do appreciate that point that you brought up about like how men aren't allowed to be vulnerable and they're pushed into this box of like they always have to be tough and militant and cold. And I think we're reaching a point in our consciousness now and in society that that's not going to cut it anymore. Like women are requiring more, or they'll absolutely just be like, "Hey, I don't have to deal with this." You know what I mean? I don't have to be in a relationship where you're emotionally unavailable and it's just me with all the emotional labor. You know what I mean? Because you have, like you said, you have to be able to fight. You can't fight by yourself. There has to be two people in the ring. You know what I mean? And so you got to have somebody that's willing to get in the ring with you, you know? And so emotional vulnerability for me, I think is really high on the list. Like if you can't really share how you feel, then I feel like we're never going to get to the true root of any issue because I don't even know who you are truly to your core because you put up this facade of who you want to portray yourself as, but who are you really? I want to know who I'm really dealing with, you know? And so it's a challenge in relationships when you don't show up as your authentic self. Like show up as your authentic self. Like me, I'm going to show up as my authentic self always. You know what I mean? And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I want you to be able to make that choice based off of hard, factual information, not on something that I'm painting a picture of. You know what I mean?
I think the craziest thing to me is how everybody's an actor or actress.
Yeah.
None of us are getting paid to do that. Except for the people we see in the actual movies who actually got trained to do that. But there's so many actors and actresses right now. Nobody's paying y'all to do it, so why do it?
Right. Yeah,
but
it's hard.
It is hard, and you know, people don't have a lot of discernment with that because I don't have a lot of discernment and everything like that. You can be nice to me at one point in time. Let me not say this. Don't try me. You get cussed the fuck out.
Yeah.
At one point in time, you could be really nice to me, like extremely nice, nicer than anybody else has been to me, and I'd be willing to do anything for you. I quickly learned my lesson with that.
Oh yeah.
4 years of my life I will never get back.
Self-preservation. is very important.
That's the craziest thing. And I had to sit here and discern there's a difference between somebody acting nice and somebody actually being nice.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything. Because, people always say, I'm really being nice to you. And everything. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because if you're being nice to somebody, you don't have to say that you're being nice to them.
Right.
I'm nice to people all the time. I don't have to say that I'm being nice.
Right.
People will tell me that I'm such a sweetheart. Everything. You telling me I'm a sweetheart and I'm not gloating about it tells me that I'm a sweetheart. Tells me that I'm nice. You sitting here telling me that I'm trying to be nice to you and everything. No, you're not. You're using that as I don't know what the right word would be for that. You're using that as an excuse to really say some shit that it's actually a lot more disrespectful.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just sad.
Yeah.
Stop acting.
Be your authentic self.
Be real about it.
Let's be real.
And everything. And I'm not sitting here preaching to the choir because I've had my moments when I've done that too. Everybody has.
Yep.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. I think over time, as you grow, as you mature, right? When you're a rookie in the game and you just kind of entering in, you come big and then you learn. I feel like life either humbles you or you just have, these awakenings over time where you realize self-realization, self-actualization. You know what I mean? You get to know yourself a little more. You get to know what you like, what you don't like. You know what I mean? And then when you come in connection with somebody, you don't really fall for like I said, the smoke and mirrors, because you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and either they fit the bill or they don't, or you're willing to engage based off of your findings and the evidence that they're presenting to you, or you call it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's hard to be yourself when you're used to being rejected, especially if you're used to being rejected.
Let's talk about rejection.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll let you finish that.
Because I like to be myself too. And I've had people smile in my face, laugh with me and everything like that, then turn right around. He's weird. He's weird. He's annoying. He gets on my nerves. Everything. You sat there and smiled in my face. You just said that. I'd have left you alone. Yeah. So no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like I said, I've been an actor the majority of my life too, because I've had to, and I'm an adaptable actor. Wherever I'm at, I have to adapt to who I'm around and where I'm with.
Yeah.
Just to see how I can proceed and not start something. I don't like starting anything. But there's a problem. Somebody comes in, they have a problem with me or anything like that. Get off your chest.
Talk about it.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
I'm not hard to talk to.
Right.
You can talk to me and don't be disrespectful towards me.
Communication is definitely key in a relationship.
And people don't know how to communicate without being disrespectful. A lot of people call it.
Communication skills is definitely something that I feel like the community lacks, for sure. Like, even I think like in culturally, like with the elders, if you have any objections, rejections, any grievances, we've always been taught as children, don't call me a liar.
You calling me a liar?
You calling me a liar? Like, if you say that's not true, or I have a perspective, and that's why I
have a different perspective. Like, no,
if you want to speak to me, speak to me. Like, there's a way that you can be respectful in your communication. But I think a lot of the times parents, they want to be right. It's a power trip. It's an ego thing for them. They don't want a little child telling them something that, hey, that might be honestly very true, that you need to check about yourself. That's a hard thing to say as a little child is telling you that. But with my son, I always tell him I am an open communication type of person. Don't ever feel like there is anything that you cannot talk to me about. I want to talk about everything you're thinking, you're feeling. Put it out in the open and let's discuss it and let's work through how you're feeling. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of our community, we weren't taught that. We were taught to like, shut your mouth, do as you're told.
An adult is talking.
An adult is talking. You don't talk. Don't speak over me. You don't call me a liar. You telling me like I'm not telling. I wasn't allowed to say the word lie. You're telling a lie, or You know what I mean? I think a lot of kids grew up like that, where it's like you can't even communicate with your parents. So when I'm really dealing with something that's really, really hard, you expect me to come to you and talk to you about these issues that I'm facing. You know what I mean? Think about the little boys. I remember I heard this mom talking to her son. Horrible. She was like, "Get your mother over here before I show." And I'm like, this is probably like a 7 or 8 year old little boy that this mother was talking to. And I'm like, I don't think people understand that you're raising a human being that will have to go out into the world and have conversations and be an effective communicator. Why are you talking to a small child in that way? Even if you lost patience, you know what I mean? I would never talk to my son in that way.
And I get it. I get it because some kids are bad, but I mean, that's still. But the bigger thing about it is that what are you instilling into them?
Right.
You're instilling rage.
Just like
This
you
is
said
how a
earlier.
woman's supposed to talk to me like this. Everything. I'm not supposed to talk back because mostly,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the black community, most men don't have their fathers.
Mm.
They were raised by their mothers. So.
And that's where the emotional unavailability comes in.
So they're used to their mothers yelling at them and talking down to them or anything like that, and then it gets to a point where it's just like, I don't. This main woman that I love is talking to me crazy. Now I go out into the world and other women are talking to me crazy as well.
Like setting the tone, setting the precedent.
So now I don't want to talk with you now, or you end up like me. That's just like I'd rather not argue or anything. Just keep my mouth shut and just roll with the punches, or you become overly aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to speak on overly aggressive men because we see
We
what they
talked about it a
do.
little bit earlier. Women, do not emotionally stunt your children. Help cultivate them to understand their emotions. That's my advice to any mom, any Mother's Day is coming up. As women, let's help cultivate a space for emotions and discussing these emotions.
And brothers, it's okay to be vulnerable to your woman.
Come on. It's okay to be
If
vulnerable.
you're not feeling her like that, I get it. I understand.
But the one you
But
are
the one
with,
that you with, that's gonna be yours and everything, that's your baby right there. Be vulnerable with that woman. Cause they're getting tired of the shit. They're getting tired of our shit. They're getting tired of dealing with it. And they're not wanting to go do it.
they're
They
not gonna
stop
want to
wanting to
do
deal with us and start wanting to
it.
deal with themselves. They start to do it for themselves and with each other.
No, okay.
Yeah. So
Vulnerability is key. I will say that. Being vulnerable, like, I think that brings a level of intimacy to the relationship. Like how, and I, as a Scorpio woman, I love me some intimacy. You know what I mean? And when I say intimacy, people always think immediately like sex, but there are many different forms of intimacy, and I feel like
so many different forms.
communication, emotional availability, that is a level of intimacy that I crave. And if I cannot get that, or that need is not met in a relationship, I will dip out so quick, baby. Beep, beep. I'm out.
Look, this woman asked me if she could touch my beard one time. And she caressed my face. She said, "Your beard is so soft." That just blew my mind right there. That was true intimacy for me. I'm a Cancer.
Yeah. Come
So
on, water
first things first, and
signs.
let's get something straight. If we get to the whole, oh, you're all the crybabies and everything, yes. Yes,
I
I am
love
a
it.
crybaby.
I love my son's
I'm
a
in
Cancer.
tune with my emotions.
Yeah.
I can actually sit here and be real about when something hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm actually really excited or really happy or I'm actually nervous and everything, because I'm in tune with my
There
emotions. A
you
lot of
go.
y'all
Come
aren't.
on.
So miss me with that
Miss him with.
emotional thing.
Don't play
Miss
with
me
my
with that.
boy.
Miss me with that.
Bye bye.
But yeah,
I love that though.
anything about Cancers, even the stubborn ones. I've met some mean ones.
Yeah.
I met some mean ones that actually aren't even really mean. They're actually just tired of it.
Yeah.
You love me, I'm going to love you 10 times more. And I have proven that.
Yep.
Time and time again, not just to other people who didn't deserve it, but to myself. which is why now I'm more chilling in my shell right now.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling in my shell right now. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm always going to be a lover.
Yeah.
And that will be the best thing for me. And you're right. Okay. Intimacy has many different ways of doing things. Yeah. If I ask you to help shave the back of my head and you're coming in there and doing it, that's a form of intimacy for me.
Yeah.
You letting me kiss you on your forehead, that's a form of intimacy for me. Don't play with me because y'all know I got a thing for foreheads. The people that do know me.
Come on, a forehead kiss.
Yes.
Not the best man. Mm-hmm. No, I love it. Mm-hmm. But I do want to push the conversation along. So what can we expect from you in the future? What do you have coming up? And how can the people stay in contact with you?
Okay, so y'all can find me on Instagram at Mr. Dot. You have to put the period.
Mr. Dot.
Old Soul Films on Instagram. Everything. I have May 30th will be the next Soul Sessions. Not Grown and Sexy, it's just the regular Soul Sessions. Okay. And everything. Throughout the summer, I will be hosting. We have June 13th, Echoes of the Soul. It is another showcase, but this one is the hip hop and beat producer showcase. And then we're going to be doing Soul Sessions again. I'm also planning on doing a whole comedy run.
That's going to be
fun. Comedy run. I said comedy run, excuse me. Comedy show. Yeah. It's a comedy show that's coming up later on in July. And for my birthday, we're going to try to turn up and do another event around that time. So there's a lot of things coming up. I also have skits. For those that know me, I do have my my films and stuff coming out too. Mm-hmm. So be on the lookout for that. Chocolate Thunder's back in town, y'all. So he'll be coming out soon. And everything. Y'all be seeing us out there and everything. But yes, y'all come catch a vibe with us.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Yes.